Okay guys, this is a coaching session on EUNE for the Rakan. Rakan is gold 5. We've got Lucian, Brand and Desire Rakan. First thing you're going to see there is you're probably going to see a lot of early aggression coming from both teams. If Brand catches one of you guys out, there's going to be a lot of damage coming in with Lucian there as well. And on the flip side as well, the Zaya can help out the Rakan when the Rakan goes in the super early level. Maybe like a level 1 W on a Brand could be possible here as well. The Zaya has fleet work instead of press the attack, so that's something to bear in mind as well. So there might be a little bit less damage coming into the lane because of that as well. The Guardian is an okay pick. In terms of GP5, you would only go blue if you feel confident in being able to harass the enemy laners during laning phase. Being able to harass a Lucian or Brandon lane would be pretty difficult, especially if you fall behind. Coin's probably the safer option here. And then moving into the rest of the game, you're probably looking... You're going to have some troubles trying to get in through a Veigar cage. Veigar might stop you from engaging. But apart from that, you should be able to get onto the back line. If like Veigar uses cage, you should be able to just go straight onto a lot of them during the mid game as well. Alright, let's see what happens. Okay, so you start coin.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
So I was already taking harassment. You're kind of like standing back there, not doing anything. You do take Q, you do land it, and you do manage to get an okay heal there. There's kind of a weird start there of you being AFK. They're going to push in way quicker than you for level 2, and you need to identify that. Your minions are about to die here. You should be backing off at this point. Just back off because they're going to hit level 2. Decent Q. Okay. Lucky in the sense that they didn't play it up a little bit more aggressive there. You could go in the hit? Right, yep, okay. Okay, let me rewind that. You could have gone in a little bit earlier than that. Right, Brand misses his W and he's miles ahead. Like, you should have just pressed W instantly there. It's a little bit too long. At least you do go in. What you need to do is just once you do the knock up, you want to start running out as quickly as possible. So you do W, ignite, Q, maybe an auto attack, and start backing off and seeing what the follow up is like from Zaya. Okay. I think what you did is perfectly fine. I think what you did was absolutely fine. I think the Zaya didn't follow up nicely, but you did actually kill the Brand though with your ignite. So yeah, you identified that the Brand misplayed pretty badly, and you got a nice kill out of that. I don't know why Brand was doing that, but that's a good job capitalizing on his mistake. Right now, I know you need to be helping pushing this lane. You just want to recall. You took a lot of damage there, or you can't really get a good W onto the Lucian because of his dash. So you just want to push this in. You want to help push this in. So you both can go recall. But you can go back and get like some boots at least. Which will help you engage onto the Brand and dodge like a EQ combo from a Brand. There's no reason to stay in this lane. Yeah, you guys are wasting time here doing nothing. You should buy here. Also at this point you've got no vision up here as well, so it would have been perfect time to go back because you've got no vision in these brushes here, and obviously recalling means that you're not prone to an attack here, and by the time you get back the wave will be around about here anyway.
Killing spree.
Definitely should have recalled there. I don't think you could do another fight like that though. Brand still has ignite up. I think, okay, right, perfect. I was gonna say, yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah, definitely good EW there. Brand overstepping the mark. Thank God the Zaya dodged the Q there though. Good. Engage there. You just gotta be careful about the Lucian dashing in now on the Zaya. I think you just don't stay in too long. You're gonna want to E back to the Zaya pretty quickly here though. You're staying in just a little bit too long for another auto attack. Okay, Zaya's getting way too far ahead now. So yeah, you can't go in and follow her, so she has to do it by herself. So she gets the kill, so that's good. Lee Sin's correct. Okay, so now Lee Sin's coming through the backside here. You've got everything ready. You just want to do another one of those EWs, but you don't want to do it so where he's standing. You want to predict that he's going to dash into your Zaya. Basically, this Lucian is going to die, but you just want to. But as long as he doesn't get maybe a possible escape from going up through river, so you just do EW to around about here to close the gap between you, the Lucian and the Zaya, and then you just E back to Zaya. And then that should give Lee time to get to this point, and he should be able to just... There's a lot of minions there, but just keep an eye on the situation. Yeah. Wow, you actually leveled up there, but yeah, you misplayed that a little bit. That could have been a lot worse. You definitely should E then W. Then you want to E straight back. Like, you don't want to get caught up in this situation here. Pretty lucky about... Yeah, you're very lucky about that level up. That's very lucky. Alright, so now you definitely want to help push in this lane quickly. Quick. Push in harder. Harder. More auto attacks. Right, now get out. You can't stop the Brand from freezing if he wants to. Too low HP. Lucky or calculated? Definitely lucky. I think you guys have such a good advantage bot side right now. You don't need to risk anything right now until you guys hit level 6. If I were you, I'd... Unless Lee Sin comes down the bot side, I wouldn't engage until you hit 6. Just take it easy, don't get harassed too much. Get level 6 before they do, and do a really nice engage with that. If you can, try and get a Q if you can off for your Zaya though. What are you maxing first? You've gone straight 3 points into E. So your Q is actually going to do almost nothing. I would usually recommend just a couple of points in Q, just so that you have a little tiny bit more lane harassment and a little better heal. The damage is kind of surprising on the Q. It is kind of worth it. I think once you get like 2 or 3 points in Q, 3 points is usually about the sweet spot, and then you want to switch to E. About halfway to level 6 now. Probably this wave and one more. I think if I were you, I'd probably tell Lee to do Gromp. Yeah, hold up. Right, you should get a kill with the Lee. Let me have a look at that again. I think you wait for Lee to go in here and then use him as a dash forward. It's a shame both of you like Hanatana Vision and Lucian with the brands that's far exposed. At least you do manage to shield the Desire though. Okay. I think it wasn't worth it in the sense that you could have probably killed them both in about 30 seconds later with just your ulti. Okay, you follow up with the Lee here. You're easing cooldown, I believe. You just ulti. Yeah, hold on. You were 6 the entire time there, right? Yeah, you hit 6 on that minion, don't you? When did you hit 6 here? That minion? Okay, now you do. Right, you just R here, RW straight away. Yeah, it's a shame you didn't do RW straight away. I think Xayah used heal there just to get in range there as well with the movement speed, I believe. Is that right? No, she didn't. She used heal earlier. She had to use her ulti though. Yeah, that should have just been a really quick RW there. I think maybe you were in a little bit of a mess because you just leveled up level 6 and then you may have delayed leveling up your ulti slightly when you W'd in there. Wait, I just realized you didn't recall. What were you doing during that time? I don't think you can mess around too long here. I think it's really greedy to put a controlled here. And when you guys need to go back anyway, after getting a bunch of kills, there's no point putting a control ward there. Oh no, it wasn't a control ward. Sorry, for some reason I thought that was a control ward. Yeah, putting a normal ward there is fine, of course. I think you're spending too much time trying to do something here. Whether it's deep wards or what, I don't know. But you just need to go back. Just go back and quickly get some mobility boots and just have some control around the map now. You're getting really far ahead. And try and maybe pick up a couple items with cooldown. And you can just literally just rotate between bot and mid constantly. And just apply pressure all over the map now. You need to go back now. You shouldn't stay in the lane. You definitely shouldn't be staying in the lane. Yeah. Yeah, you didn't respect that you had your ult on cooldown, and you haven't even bought your items after getting those kills as well. Yeah, you get perma-locked in as soon as you go in without your ulti. Brand's allowed to just stun you, and then that's it. So yeah. You're asking for a little bit too much after your lead. You gotta, if you got the gold in your bags and you don't actually use it, then you haven't actually got any advantage in lane apart from maybe a tiny bit of XP. Gotta respect the ult cooldown as well. You can't make aggressive plays against someone that can hard lock you down like that and that crazy good without your ulti, because you just won't be able to make a play like that as well. I think it's just a little bit too greedy that you didn't buy. It kind of cost you there. I mean, it shouldn't set your lane back too much, but it's definitely a little bit of a setback here. If the enemy bot lane stay, you want to try and make them stay, so prevent a recall if you can. Like, you should be investigating a little bit by standing roughly about here, and you would have seen this Lucian do a bad recall. Just try and Q him and then just W away. Just stop his recall from coming through. Push in this lane now because you know they've gone back. You didn't buy a control ward when you went back, and you didn't upgrade your boots. I disagree with this build completely. Yeah. I disagree with your build completely here. You should have upgraded boots to tier 2, regardless what it is. I would recommend Moby boots, but whatever you get, it needs to be boots upgraded to help you engage and get around the map more. Having a Glacier Shroud, sure, 10% CDR is kind of nice, and they do have like a semi-fed Yi going on there, but like the most damage that's coming on from bot lane, at least at the moment, is Brand anyway. And you really just need the map pressure as Rakan. Like, you've been doing well bot side, and then it just gives you another ticket to, you know, clear out wards around on Tri-Brush and maybe get into the mid lane as well. Also, you need a control ward as well. There's no reason not to have another control ward in your bag right now. Just E to the Lee here. That's a big mechanical mistake there. And now you just burnt flash ulti, I just saw as well. And just E to the Lee Sin here. And if you had tier 2 boots, for this exact reason, you would be there much quicker as well. So you would have been quicker here for this E as well. You need to E first. Or use your ult first. Just to speed you up and get you in there, right? So now you use flash. Oh, it's horrible. So now you're down an ulti and a flash. But you do kill the enemy jungler, which means you need to start doing not Baron, the Drake. Wait a minute. So the next thing is, after killing the jungler, is you need to start thinking about killable objectives. Okay, so that your bot lane is chasing down the Sire. And you just used your first charge of E, I believe. They're running away from you. You're never gonna. Yeah, if they kept running down like that lane at the same pace, you wouldn't get onto them. You should just ignore them and just focus. Right, can we do the objective right now? Like, I wouldn't say, if you had tier 2 boots and a control ward, you could have put a control ward down here, a new fresh one in this pit here, and then just play it around that. Although your LeBlanc isn't ready in lane, so you'd probably have to hang around a little bit just for her. And you probably pick up a couple more kills. This whole fight's turned into a massive mess. I think you go for Brand here, not Lucian. There's always that factor where Lucian can just dash out of your W. Yeah, that all stemmed for you getting EQ'd from Brand when you're trying to chase up to them. Once again, boots would have helped you dodge the EQ combo and stuff as well. So now you probably can't have any control over this Mountain Drake now. This Drake's probably theirs. Okay. Okay, well, Drake's still up, so that's nice still. Once again, you need to just push in this lane and reset it and start getting vision around the dragon again. And again, you have no new control ward. You did buy an Oracles. You went CDR boots, which is okay. It means you won't be able to move around as much as something like Moby boots, but I personally would have, like, if I wasn't going to go Moby boots against their team, I think Ninja Tabby would have been pretty nice with the Lucian and the Yi that they've got on their team, but CDR boots aren't terrible. I guess it's kind of personal preference really on that front. You've got your ulti ready, and you've just seen Brand mid. This is a bad call from you, or someone, whoever called it. Like, you've just seen the Brand's mid lane here, and you still see he's mid here. So when the Lucian's here, you should dive this. Like, he just dashed forward there. That should be instant turnaround. R, W, and back, bam, boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you'd actually get the kill because the Lucian will have used the summoners, but having the flash and the heal down from Lucian for next time you got your ulti would be pretty damn awesome. So you should have seen that this Brand is still messing around mid. You got a decent ward there as well to tell you if the Yi's nearby as well. Yeah, I think you could have made a little play there. Missed opportunity for sure. You know what you could have done here? I think you checked this. I need to go back to when you first use oracles. Yeah, so you know that there's no ward in that brush. What you could have done after here is that, you know, you just know that Brand's just left mid lane. He's probably, the most likely path he's going to take is coming down through here. What you need to do is you need to get in this brush and call your team here immediately and get them here straight away, because you know there's no ward here because you're just using oracles on it. And then you wait in that brush, and then the Brand would have face checked that brush, and then Xayah would have been nearby, and that would have been a free kill because the Brand has no flash there. That would have been a really nice kill. That's quite a common bait brush there you can do. If you're confident that there's no enemy ward there, and like you have the CC and stuff and lockdown for it, you can get a nice kill that way. Once again, having a control ward would have been super nice too. Like having a control and them not being able to see the dragon properly as well would cause them to have to face check some tight angles as well, which could also lead to you getting a nice potential ulti off as well. Okay, your Lee's needs to do something. You need to tell your Lee to either stay or to go do something else. He's been spending way too long down here. Okay. That was hard to watch. Okay, let me go back. At this point here, you need to say, like, Lee, you either need to engage for the Lee, or you just leave it. You just don't bother at all. Okay. You spent so long. Lee spent so long waiting there for you to engage that he just left it, which is fine. But it means you don't go in after he's just disappeared from the brush. Here is a perfect engage, actually. You just do RW here on this Brand and he instantly dies. What actually happens... So you allow yourself to get stunned by the Brand. I think you have to disengage this anyway by using your ulti. I think you have no choice now but to do like RW onto the Brand, run over to Lucian, and CC him, and then hope that the bounce charges are done, and then E back to Xayah. Yeah, that's a shame, because you could have easily have caught that Brand out there. I mean, as Rakan and the bot lane, you need to identify which one of the two on enemy team is the easiest one to kill. In this case, it's Brand, because A, he's super squishy, and B, he has no dash. So yeah, like when the Brand was that close to you, instant RW, he won't be able to... He might get enough time to do an E on you, but he won't be able to get the Q off on you, because he'll be charmed at that point. And then after you do that combo, your goal is just to like move out the way so you don't get stunned by the Q. So you run over to Lucian, basically charm him, and then yeah. A little bit, well, it's a massive mistake because you guys were super far ahead bot side as well. I mean, you guys were kind of gifted a free win on bot lane with the Lee Sin ganks, and it's kind of just been blown away. Now you're looking to gank the Veigar. I think your ult's still on cooldown. I think the in-game client's bugged. Okay, yeah, there's up. Wait, what? Ah, it's fine. W here. E the LeBlanc as soon as you can. You can auto hit, by the way, while you're doing that. At least you get the kill though. I don't know if the E... Your Guardian. What happened to your Guardian? Did your Guardian not go off there? Yeah, LeBlanc never got Guardian. Yeah, so if you had E to LeBlanc, she would have got Guardian as well. Oh no, she did get Guardian. Your Guardian did get procced off. Then it's just debatable whether or not she would have survived. But you should definitely should have done at least one E on the LeBlanc there, though. I don't know if she would have survived still, though. But one thing you do get at least is you get assist gold over them. So that's something. Right, you picked up some control wards now. I want to see you get some vision around the Herald. We're always thinking about what's the next easiest thing to take. It's going to be hard pushing in the bot side with your tier 1 tower down. I think you could probably make a play onto the Herald. Lee Sin's doing decently. I think you could start setting it up at least anyway. Get a couple of wards in that general area. You can't go in here because the LeBlanc's way too low HP. I think if you're going to go to be in this area, you should put a ward here. A fresh one there, just to see mid to bot lane rotations. And I think if you're not going to go to Herald, then you need to put a lot of pressure on bot side to either stop them from doing Herald or to get something from them taking Herald. Yeah, check out the tri-brush first to clear it out. That's good. Always clear out the control ward first. Good, now you can help in. Not sure about using E though. Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't want to just waste your E like that. In case they do collapse on you pretty quickly. I mean, let's be real, Rakan does like no damage to the tower anyway. I mean, bot lane will be pushing back in soon. You don't necessarily need... You shouldn't really be here. You should be trying to, like, work with the Lee Sin a little bit here. Maybe they get an engage going. Just put a ward over the wall. Good. Bear in mind that they could... I would probably... Because this mid lane's been pushed in quite a bit, I personally would probably put a control ward here. Just so that to make sure they haven't got any vision of this area of the map here. Just in case like you got LeBlanc or yourself to wanting to dive over this wall as well. Right, you need to W on the spot there. I was gonna say, right, if you get caged like that with a melee right in your face like that, just W on the spot there and then just look to E away to someone else quickly after that. Now's the time that you've been able to, you should be able to get like a ward around here. Yi is doing decently that he could maybe kill a Baron relatively quickly with a Mountain Drake. With the help of Garen maybe. Just something to bear in mind, and with the Brand as well. So yeah, they got a decent, very good Baron team here. I would get at least something here if you can. One ward at least in this pixel brush here. I don't think there's much you can specifically do right here. I think engaging while Veigar Cage is up is going to be pretty difficult too. Alright, you need to get ready to engage here. I would probably start walking to around about this space here to try and gap close into these two here. No, you guys just gotta back off now, you can't do anything. Zyra isn't here either. Still nothing you can do here. What you're doing right now is fine. There's just nothing you can do right now. You still can't engage even though the squishy targets are in front there. Okay, now you can start thinking about engaging out the Zyres here. There's a couple of there's one sneaky play that you could do. Right. You could actually flash over this wall, press R and then W in and catch a... You probably might force something from the Veigar. If the Veigar flashes away to here, you can't chase. But then you can switch it onto the brand. I think you engage here right now. You need to engage. They're way too deep. Switch to the brand and get out. Nice, good job. So yeah, at least you go in. Good. And there's a Veigar flash as well, which might be important later on. You did the right thing there. The enemy overstayed like crazy. What's this next Drake? Ocean Drake. Your jungler isn't down here. You can't really start it. Ocean Drake's gonna slow you down as well. I think you just gotta start getting wards around the Baron at this time now. So you haven't even gone back to bio, you ran all the way from bot to top side. Your ulti is up now. Yeah, I was gonna say you needed to make your priority target a little bit more of the Yi there, because there wasn't much chance of you guys gonna be able to kill the Garen. At least you did snap back onto the Yi just in time. But a little bit more security for your team there with the Yi should have been more important. The Yi's a much bigger threat than the much easier to kill than a Garen. Yeah, just go back and go buy. You're sitting on a bunch of cash right now. No, 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 no. You're playing around too much. There's no reason to not recall there. You should recall here. Like, there's nothing that you can do to stop this. Like, there's literally nothing you can do. Your team isn't ready at all. Just give up the tier 1. It's 23 minutes into the game. Doesn't matter. It's not worth fighting over a tier 1 tower by yourself as a support at 23 minutes in the game. And because you haven't recalled as well, you haven't got wards. You've got no ward charges left. You've got no control wards, and you've got money to buy. You should be ready now, like in the field and ready to fight. I want to see if you can try and get a ward here if you can. You guys are being pushed up quite a lot, but it would be useful to see rotations between where this Veigar's going in particular to see if he's heading off to Baron or not. Try and get a ward in the middle of the lane if you're able to. I don't know where you're going, but you should be helping here. Alright, let's just hope your house is burning down. Yeah, I mean, ideally, obviously something happens, you walk back to tower, and obviously doing something in real life, things happen. In theory though, like, you should be here. That should be like an E to the Xayah, then R to the Yi, then R to the Veigar actually. And like both of these should die actually. The cage is already down. I think this is actually this is one of the more game breaking like moments of the game where you could actually make a really big impact on this game on this very moment. It's super unlucky that you seemingly have to go AFK or you had lag here. I don't know what it was here, but that was quite game changing there. You could have killed both the Yi and the Veigar in theory. I don't know if you're going to get another opportunity like that. This game's been so heavily in their favor. Why? No. You tell the lead not to go in. You've got your Xayah, your AD carries miles away. You can't go in first. It's nice that the cage is missed. You need to R. If you are going to go in, that's R. That's a really bad W. You should have just let Lee round them up as well and see where they moved after the lead moved in from the flank, and just try to read their movements from then on. I don't know, even if you did land the RW, if Lee would have been able to kill, but that was a pretty desperate play there. Okay, half your team is dead. Alright, you just want to try and defend here now as best as you can. You can't go in for an engage. You're going to need every single member of your team up here. I want to see you get some wards over these walls just to give you a little bit better vision. Peel for this Garrett. Yeah, good. E. Okay, they shouldn't take damage there. Okay, the Veigar randomly died. Shot opportunity here now to go in now. No, come on, that's way too late. Wait. Let's go back. Veigar's dead, the best player. You need to go zooming in here. Right, you got Guardian up, so that's giving you movement speed. You just R. You just R and you walk over this brand straight away. You don't W, you just R. CC him straight away. You don't need to W. Now your team's kind of like backed off. The Yi's charmed up here, but there's nothing else you can do here apart from maybe an ignite on someone. Science coming in. You're really low on HP now. I think you need to prioritize at this point, deciding whether or not you can come into this fight or not. Alright, you guys need to go straight to Baron after this. You can get tier 1 and Baron, but it's pushing it. Just go Baron now. No. If you guys don't get Baron off this is going to be extremely bad. There are multiple things happening right now, which are super lucky, by the way. Okay, right. There are multiple things that are super lucky for you at this moment, right? You're lucky that the Garen TP'd bot. You're kind of lucky Veigar didn't help face check or get ready to go in for the Baron here. He's farming mid instead. The only one who's showing incentive on their team is the Yi. You would not get away with this out of gold. If you get a chance to do Baron, doing the tier 1 was okay because you had a minion wave just right there and you could just knock it down straight away and then move on to Baron, or the timers were just right for that. Just about. But one other thing I would say as well is that you don't actually need to be there for even attacking the towers in the first place. Rakan does like no damage. So what you should do is start prepping up the Baron with deep wards. So from here, from the tier 1, you should be putting a ward here and a ward here. You're sitting on 3 wards. Ward here, and a ward here to see them when they're going to inevitably come for the Baron. You don't need to help on the Baron. You don't have an Ardent Sensor, so you're just doing like 45 auto attacks basically to the tower, and there's not much point in you being there. You just want to prep Baron when you're doing that. Let's watch the Baron itself then. You're not using any spells. Okay, use Q. Would like to see you. Yeah, so quite late shielding the Lee Sin there, and then I think Did you shield the Scion though? You can shield the same target more than once. You got your ult ready? Okay. Unless you're like unless you're Zyra or Brand or someone with like insane damage on Baron, so you have to be on Baron. As a support, you don't need to be on Baron. As soon as you start seeing, like, this is why these wards on this side would be a good thing. As soon as you start seeing the enemy team moving in, then you yourself need to come off the Baron, and you need to start getting ready to CC and delay them from coming into the Baron pit, even if it costs your life. That's your job as support. Once again, your 45 damage auto attack is on nothing for this. Like at this point here, as soon as this gets hit here, you know that someone is nearby here. Your priority right now should be moving to here and making sure that the Yi doesn't come in and steals the Baron. So you're not in the right position here at all. You're still auto attacking the Baron here. Yeah, you should be stopping them from coming in here. This is your job. Your job is to stop this from happening. Like, even if it means that like you die for it. Your job is not to auto hit the Baron at this point. You just need to stop the Yi from being able to steal it. Right, your team does get the Baron. You do a knock up here. You need to use R now. You need to R way sooner than that. Why'd you guys lose off that? See, the Brian was solo top pushing and you managed to couch him out. Okay, good. Has anyone on your team got Baron left? The LeBlanc has. She's the only one with Baron buff. I think at this point you're just gonna have to work as a team and push it down mid against the super creeps. Catch on the Lucian. Right, you just need to get everyone back to mid because otherwise super creeps will be too much of a trouble. And just push off the mid wave of the super creeps and just try and delay time for your inhib to respawn here. You could think about engaging if the timing is right. But without your ulti, it's honestly a little bit too risky. Yeah, I would have personally liked to see you either with your team stop the Yi doing too much damage on the back line, or you come around for the flank here. This is another reason why the ward's good here in the middle of the lane, because you would have seen that the Veigar was by himself and that the enemy team are way off kind of thing. So getting this mid lane warded is pretty important. Just kind of waiting for your ulti now, you can't really go in. Careful. Lucian's still dead at this point. You guys are trying to tease him. I think you need to tell one of your teammates to go bot side though for that bot wave. I think you just pull back here. There's nothing to fight for here. You can't go in now because your ulti Lucian's going to be back in the fight now. You can't be the one engaging here. It basically has to be like a Scion ulti to get through the Veigar cage, because if you go in like this, Veigar will just cage you. Okay, right. In this current situation here, you got 3 people on you. You have 2 options. The bad one is to just press R here, round them all up, W, and then like maybe like flash away. The better option would be to W away And if they still chase you after that with a couple of flashes, then you flash away, and then you get ready to re-engage re-engage in the fight again with your ulti. The idea is not to burn your ulti too early with no follow-up. Let's see what you do. Okay. Nothing was done there. You gotta do something in that situation. Can't not use any of your abilities. There's not even a silence on you. There's like there's no stun, and there's nothing. You literally do nothing. You gotta at least attempt to get out of that fight, or just round them up and group them up. I mean, there's no follow-up there, so you shouldn't be engaging on them. You should just be trying to escape and then try and come back in again a few seconds later to then get in their backline onto their squishier targets. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Also, your team managed to kill Veigar during that as well, so if you were able to re-engage in that fight, that would have been super awesome for you. I think your team loses now. Yeah. I think, in general, in that game, your team was quite... Well, they were a tiny bit behind throughout the game. I think that you were gifted a free win in lane, and you made too many mistakes in how you could have engaged on the Brand when he was like right next to you, but you chose not to, and then Brand actually caught you out because of it, and got you killed that way. Okay, there's a few things here to list. Think about getting boots earlier, boots 2. Not necessarily before you're tier 2 on the GP5, but after you get tier 2 GP5, try and get tier 2 boots. I prefer mobility boots, but it's totally preference on what you want to go on there. That way it gives you more mobility to get around, because there were a couple of fights in the river where if you had boots 2, it doesn't have to be mobies, but if you had boots 2, you would have had the speed to do a couple of things there, engaging and dodging some skill shots maybe. I want to see you buying more control wards. There's a real lack of control wards there that game. Could have had a little bit more map control around the Drake. There are a couple of times where you are W'd and it was like not on target. You need to be a lot more careful about that. You could always, like, if you're not sure about instant RW, you can just use your R, getting closer, and then W. I mean, it's a safer option. It's definitely something you can do. You don't have to do max range on W and then miss it that way. The bit where you went AFK mid was really, really bad. I don't know what happened there. If you were typing to your team, then that's got to stop. But if it was something like real life based, then whatever that happens, that can't be helped. The last fight, you can't. It's unacceptable in a late game team fight at 30 minutes to not use a single spell. You really should have made more effort to do anything, literally anything. Would have been something there. If you were able to re-engage from the flank there, because your team did kill Veigar without too much hassle, if you were able to re-engage there, that would have been super awesome, because LeBlanc would have been there as well by the time you were able to re-engage as well. I think also around Barons, and as I said, unless you're Zyra or Brand, there's no point staying on the Baron. You don't do any damage. You can do like some top-ups and heals and things on whatever character you're playing. It's just the main thing is, as a support, it's to stop the enemy team from getting in, whether it's with ultis or CC, or just generally being a nuisance. Yes, sometimes it costs you a death, but your death to guarantee a Baron is always better. That was super close. Basically, you let the Yi get into Alpha Strike, and then it was just 50-50 on the Smite from Baron, which should never happen. You had your ulti and W open. You should have just R'd in, Leroy'd in onto the Yi, CC'd him up. Your team would have had enough time then to then kill the Baron, and the Baron would have been secured without too much panic on your team, and then maybe the situation could have been changed a little bit. But yeah, in that Baron fight, you didn't really do anything either. I think you pressed R, Yi, then Alpha Strike, and then You then died to Veigar very quickly after that. There wasn't anything there you could do there in that situation, because you put yourself so far back in the Baron pit. There's just literally nothing you could do there with the Veigar cage blocking your entry there. I think in terms of your build, I think a Zeke's is fine. Ardent Sensor is okay if your AD carry is ahead. I can see why you would go Ardent Sensor with Desire, but you didn't use it like at all. Like obviously, like the last fight we get caught out, there wasn't an Ardent Sensor buff out there. Someone like as I would personally like to see you go Shreddiers, just to get you around the cage. Say if the Veigar does put the cage right in front of your face, you still got the movement speed to get around it quickly still with your ulti, and then get straight onto the Veigar if needed. Also, it helps your team follow in up on the silent ulti as well, quite nicely as well. I think a Shreddiers here would have been quite nice. Yeah, Shreddiers. I think Shreddiers would be nice. Also, you should upgrade your GP5 as well quite early on in Rakan. There aren't too many items that synergize with him pretty well. Zeke's and Shreddiers are nice, but you kind of need to upgrade your GP5 to get better wards down at the map at 30 minutes in the game. Yeah, okay. I think there's plenty there for you to work on. I think your early game mechanics in like your EUW were pretty nice. I think the mechanics went from good and then to very sloppy later on into the game, so I'm not too sure if people were blaming your team and stuff like that, but if that was the case, try not to get involved in those sort of situations. But yeah, I think it's obviously too hard to tell, but I think there were enough opportunities there to help your team win the game there, which is something to bear in mind. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that coaching session there for the Rakan. Hopefully a couple of you guys picked up on a couple of things there for yourself.